edition of the Bucks Report for the 2025 season, and right now we're at the end of the preparation through the off season, and now you're into the pads. So can you go back over the past, since the end of last year, the last season, through the off season, how much these kids have prepared for themselves?
Yeah, it's been awesome. So season ended, we did about a month off, and we get right into lifting. We have our best attendance we've had since I've been here with lifting. Pretty much most of our guys, if not almost all, most times, showed up for 6 months in the mornings working out, and you can just see their bodies, changing, getting bigger, part of maturity, getting older, right? But muscle, speed, all that stuff. So it was cool watching those kids really grind. That's a long time, 6 months of lifting. It can be a lot, but we had some tough kids to where they go and grind through it. Had a great off-season lifting. Started in June with our practices, where we had 17 practices through June, July, kind of spaced out a little bit. And then this last week we started with shoulder pads, and it's been, every practice has gotten just a little better. So it's been a good start. And our big goal this year is trying to get some leadership. We had some seniors that graduated last year that were leaders for 3 years, the sophomore year on, and they led a lot. So now there's a kind of a little vacuum, and somebody else has to step up and kind of lead that. But we want as many leaders as possible, and then not just seniors. Everybody leads, and so that's one of our goals this year. So helping develop leaders to step up and kind of lead this program the right way.
Well, what was really cool is how many kids, like you go into the weight room when you guys are doing your weight training, is all the enthusiasm these kids show in there. They're high energy, high emotion, just they're encouraging each other, they're pushing each other, they're doing all that stuff. And that's kind of something that I probably haven't seen at that level in probably 8 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And just to see that, and another thing is, we're still a relatively young team because we only have, what, 3 seniors?
3 or 4 seniors.
3 or 4 seniors.
Yeah.
So that's really impressive on how these kids have developed. And most of them are sophomores and juniors.
Yeah, it's been awesome. You can just walk in, you can feel it in the weight room. The kids love being there. There's a love for not just being there, but the love for the guy beside them, to where they're going to willing to work really hard to do the right things. And then the mission of maximizing who we are. A lot of that starts in the weight room, because that's a teller right there. How dedicated you are, how committed you are, how tough you are, how much you're willing to work. All that starts in the weight room, and we have a lot of guys that have really bought into that, and it shows. Just the way who they are as people, their bodies, how they look, and then now how they're playing on the field now too. All that kind of correlates together. The guys that show up every day, work their tails off, care what the teammates have energy, typically go to the practice field and do the same kind of thing out there. So that's where we kind of drive our culture from, is the weight room. Like push it in there, and that'll probably lead to better success on the field as well too.
Okay, and over the summer you guys had several passing scrimmages against some pretty good teams, and you could see, or obviously, you probably know a lot better than I do, but what I notice is the level of the kids has went up since last year. There's more confidence, there's more high energy, it just looks like they have a lot more confidence in what they're trying to do. Yeah,
they were good scrimmages. We had a lot of mistakes in the scrimmages that we're improving there. But the good stuff is, man, the energy we come in there. I just love when our kids come in and there's 6, 7 teams, whatever's there, and our energy from the kids is just, we're the most energetic team there is there. The most hype, the most like, and everyone just looks at us like, what are those guys over there doing? I love that. It's a little bit of it's one of our edges right we have. But seeing that was awesome. So like, just going out there and getting them to compete with some really good teams. We made a lot of mistakes. That's part of the June, July time period, right? You go out there, not much installed, not much taught yet. Throw it in the field, and you screw half of it up. And then you watch the film, you crack some stuff, and you fix some things. And you go, next time we'll do a little better, and then you screw more things up, and you fix those little things. And it's a process of going through that. Our first 3 7-on-7s, we had no practice before. And that was just like, hey, we're going to remember we did last year, and we're trying to get some stuff in there, watch the film next 7-on-7, and we'll get a little better next time. So the first 3 were kind of rough. By the end of it, we got a lot better by the end. And then now with these weeks of practice, we've been making a lot of progress with the process there.
Well, what I also noticed in the 7-on-7 scrimmages, you gave all those kids an opportunity to play on the field. So you rotated kids in and out.
Yeah, yeah.
And that makes a huge difference in giving those kids a lot of experience, because even with all your starters, you never know who somebody could get hurt.
Right.
So somebody's got to be able to step in and replace that person. You know, so that's really cool how you was able to rotate those kids in and out, and still you couldn't really tell much of a difference. Yeah, there was mistakes, but you couldn't tell much of a difference in the effort that was given out on the field.
Here's the thing: when it comes to summer sevens and even scrimmages here coming up soon, we don't care if we win or lose those things. I mean, like we want to compete, right? You don't want to lose because of lack of effort or anything like that. But I think that competing in those things is the most important part. If you win or lose, like, it's not real stuff, right? What we want to be able to see is, you know, we have a lot of more kids this year that all can play. We don't know who the starters are in half the positions right now because there's enough kids that compete with everywhere else. So you just keep mixing kids in and figuring out where does he play best at, moving around. If you let the guy behind him that might be a year younger, let him go get some reps, and he might do well, he might not do well, and we're okay with that. Like we give up touchdowns because we're playing some young guys and trying to figure out if they can play. Good with us, right? But we're going to see where we're at and stuff. And here coming up in the next couple weeks, here's some scrimmages with Fort Laramie and Bradford, to where I don't care how we do the outcome of those scrimmages. I care about what goes into that, the process of that, how much energy we have, how much execution we have, how hard we work, how tough we are. And we're going to mix kids in. We're going to put some young guys against varsity guys, and they might do great, and they might get their butt kicked. And we're fine either way. But we have film of those kids. We can get back and show those kids how to get better. And then, you know, by the time the season starts, we have a really good picture who's where, how they play, all that kind of stuff. So I know some people take 7-on-7s and scrimmages to heart. Our program does not. I mean, we wouldn't compete now. If we go out there and we lack energy, we lack effort, that's a whole different issue, right? And that needs to be addressed. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to try to find some good teams and some good scrimmages to play and go compete with those guys.
Well, what's really cool is you have the most number of players that you've had since you became the head coach here, which is really cool because you've set up a culture, and these kids are working really hard, they're determined. And what is also with the number of kids, I think you said around 35 kids, you have competitions now for positions.
Yeah.
You know, what tight end, just throwing out positions like maybe tight ends or defensive backs, you know, there's competition going on, and the kids that put in the most effort and perform the best are the ones that are going to be on the field.
Yeah.
And that's really cool that you have that experience now with the group of kids.
Yeah, and also I think that speaks volumes to our kids as far as we have more numbers, mainly because of the kids we have. Like you mentioned earlier, the weight room energy. Like those kids do it, and you know, we push a little bit. A lot of that's them doing that, and other kids that don't play football see that, hear it, feel it, and they say maybe I might want to be part of that maybe. And they kind of join in. So we've gained kids over these last couple of years. Nothing because I've done, but it's all because of the kids and their energy. It's kind of contagious. You know, people want to be around where everyone else is hanging out, and they see that with our kids, and people just want to come be a part of that.
But it's also, what I think is also really cool is your coaching staff. You've got the same coaching staff that you've had for several years now.
Yeah.
And everybody seems like they're on the same page.
Yeah.
And I think that benefits the kids on that culture.
Yeah, our staff's amazing. You know, and our kids have over the years now have developed some deep bonds with our coaches. And then, you know, I think if you can build a relationship with the kid, he's going to play a little harder for you. And the purpose and why behind why they're playing is a better purpose. You know, we want our kids to be as best they can, but really want the kids to be great people. You know, at the end of the day, most of our kids won't go play college football, you know, and that's fine. But they're going to go be, you know, a worker, go to college, go to the military, whatever it might be. And we want them to go out there and do the best they can in those things. And when they learn to have a relationship with an adult, how to work hard and do those things, I think they can carry over to other stuff. And so, I mean, our assistant coaches are amazing. You know, we've had our core for the last 5 years, added a few of the years, but maybe for the most part, it's the staff has been there for a long time, and they've coached the same positions the entire time to where, you know, these juniors, seniors have only known those guys, and they're pretty close to our coaches.
Well, one of the key seniors is Dalen Garrett. This is his 4th year as a starter, and he had such success in track, placed at state and track, and he's put in a lot of time and effort. And just talk about Dalen and his potential. I mean, I could see him getting pretty high in maybe school record or something this year.
Yeah.
He's so talented.
I mean, I can go in any rabbit hole here with Dalen and what he's done. I mean, like, you look at the offseason lift that he's been at almost every lift. Barely.
And you can see it in his body.
He looks the part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got better track. You know, these last couple years, he's got faster. But the cool thing, I think, I'm most excited about for Dalen this year is how much of a leader he's grown. You know, he has a lot of great physical, attributes that he's improved because he works really hard and does all those things. But he was kind of quieter last year, didn't step up as much. But he's watched his whole offseason in the January, February, March in the weight room, and then you go to our summer stuff and our 707s. He's one of those vocal leaders we have now. And he's leading the right way and demanding from the guys around him to do it the right way. And guys listen to him because they look at him and say, hey, he shows up all the time. He works really hard. He does the right stuff. That's something you want to follow, right? So he's a talented receiver, talented defensive back. He has potential to play at the next level for sure. But the thing I'm most proud of Dalen for right now is just the leader, the man he's going to become over these last 4 years. And I think that says a lot about just him in general.
And another progression is the offensive line. Last couple of years, we had the kids that were freshmen and sophomores starting on offensive line. Now a bunch of them are juniors, and we got one senior. Our offensive line has got a lot of experience in the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and plus their growth. I mean, you look at Eli Brooks, and he looks massive.
Yeah.
So these kids have really developed a lot on the offensive line. So how excited are you about how the offensive line's going?
Oh, crazy, man! And I keep hitting it because they're at the weight room. All those guys on the line were in the weight room most of the offseason, right? Working their butts off again. And you mentioned the experience, right? Like a big part of playing the line is it's the only spot in football where there's 5 guys that are a unit together. And when you start putting more and more bodies on somewhere, they all got to work together. One guy screws something up, the whole line gets screwed up, right? A lot of us receivers, like 2 or 3 receivers in the field, and not 5. And so the fact that we have 5 linemen who all have played together for the last 3 years, all have been together. They kind of know the ins and outs of each person. They know, how this person does this. They know how this person talks this way and what he means by that. And so our communication on the line. Now we're still pretty early. We still make a lot of mistakes, right? But these last few practices, you can just see it. Like the line communication, it's kind of natural. They kind of pick it right away. And yeah, there might be breakdowns here and there, and that'll get ironed out in the next few weeks here. But it's been cool to watch their progression together, just because of the chemistry they have. And then you mix that in with the work, right? And we talk about marrying effort and execution together all the time. And they have the effort because they put the work in, and execution because they've been together forever. You put those 2 together, that's a good recipe for success right there. So we're really excited. And the cool thing, all 5 of us linemen are all just great people too. You need to go down the whole list, right? Eli Brooks, Brock Lyons, Lucas Lester, AJ Ray, Parker Schaefer, all those guys. They're great kids who help lead the team, who do a lot of the right stuff. So it's cool seeing good people kind of get rewarded with the right stuff. So
you got a talented freshman.
Yeah, Ryan Brown. Yeah, and the other one that I think he's right there with him is Hayden Woodrow.
Oh yeah,
freshman coming up. There's some other ones there too that I'm missing, but yeah, there's some good kids coming through. And what I was most excited about, it's why I kind of love coaching here in Covington, is all those kids are just great kids. You enjoy coaching them. You give them some feedback because they're really young freshmen, they're raw, and they make mistakes. You get on a little bit about this and say, yes, but I got to coach. And then they go to the next play and then they do it better. It's like, man, that's fun. And that's what it's all about. And so I'm excited for these young guys, these next few years to go out there and hopefully with JV squad this year looks like, watch them go play some JV games and compete up there too.
And that's what's awesome. This is the first year to be able to have JV games.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference because a lot of these younger kids are going to get more playing time. And granted, nobody remembers the record of your JV year, you know, but they'll get experience.
But be on the field, that's good for them, and it's going to grow. And we've been felt horrible these last few years not going to have it, and there's lower numbers, but we're really, really, really excited for these young guys because being a young guy in football, it can be hard at times, right? You're the scout team, or the older guys are going to be with you a little bit, and it's nice to have that outlet. One day a week, you go play against guys your age finally, and you guys get to your level, and they can go there and hopefully dominate on that side. So I'm really excited for them to go do that, and because there's a lot of potential with those younger guys coming up.
Okay, so here we are towards the end, but basically the off season now we're getting into full pad practices, contact, things like that. what's the kids' mentality heading into that standard now, where they're going to be hitting each other?
Yeah, the big thing, we just finished our overnight camp this last Saturday, Friday, Thursday, and we had a long talks about this. You know, what is our story going to be this year? You know, what is our identity going to be this year? And one of the big things, and then we're still going to iron the details out officially there, but one of the big things that all the kids mention is they want people to feel the presence, right? Like you walk up, you watch our guys, and you feel the energy, you feel the level of intentionality, you feel the level of effort they're giving. Like there's a presence about them, you know, and the way they carry themselves and everything they do, like not just football, but off the field and how they care about each other. There's a presence about them. So that's one big thing, you know, when we walk out there, we want to see our guys high-fiving guys, dapping guys up, you know, yelling across the field at their guys, and just being a positive presence around them. And it's infectious. You know, when you start doing that, you know, and bad things happen in the game, if you have a positive presence, you can get out of the hole real fast and get back to doing what you need to do. So that was one of the kind of the kids. I thought was, you know, they want to be known for their presence. You know, when you come watch a game on Friday night, you can just kind of watch our guys and feel, man, these guys work hard. Man, these guys really care. Man, these guys put work in. So that's one of the things that we've been focusing a lot here these last few days on. Are we having a presence about ourselves? You know, and that's what we kind of going forward. These scrimmages coming up, and then season starting here. You know, sooner you know it. It's if we give a presence about ourselves with all that work put in behind that, it'll be a pretty good recipe right there.
What I'm really impressed with is what you've established with the schedule is different this year than it was in the past. You brought in our first game, of course, is Arcanum. We played them last year, but then we're playing New Bremen, a MAC school, and we're playing Graham, a larger school. So you're bringing in stiffer competition for us, which is really good. And I'm really excited to see how our kids respond to that, playing those kind of teams.
I agree. I mean, we speak on all the time. Our overall mission of our program is to maximize. You know, if you want to be the best you can be, you got to go play some good teams, right? And you might get knocked out every now and again, right? But those games are really, really tough, and you know you might lose a game. You learn so much about your team, about how the people you are, about your leadership, how they respond to that. You know, it's when you play those great teams, you watch the film, and if you do one thing wrong that maybe you would get hidden by a team that's not as good, the great teams expose your issues. And it's like a blueprint. Like here's how to fix all these different things, and we get so much out of that. You know, and we're not just playing just to do that only. I mean, we're going to go out there and compete, and we scheduled it with the idea of our kids have put a lot of work in. They're getting older and stronger, and we have full faith they can go out there and compete and beat those kind of teams. But at the end of the day, it's all about playing the best you can. You know, and Graham's kind of similar story as us. You know, they've had some young kids, and they should be pretty good this year, and they should compete for the CBC. So. You know, it's 2 games that we're really excited for. That's going to give us a more competitive edge in there.
Well, and the competitive aspect of it too, if you just go back and look at our playoff game against Coldwater, and Coldwater ended up winning the state. So that's just how high caliber that team was. And of course, in the first quarter, our kids were like deer in headlights. But once you talk to them and got them refocused, if you just take the first quarter out, just throw it in the trash. If you look at the second, third, and fourth quarter, our kids competed. They competed hard. They didn't quit. So that's why I'm excited to see us now. Hopefully, it would be nice if we come out with a win. But I just want to see how tough we are against the New Bremen. They're a MAC school. I hope our kids are tough.
I think they are too. Man, I'm excited for that too. That's the whole intent behind it. You know, is we want to challenge ourselves as much as we can. And we have a scrimmage here at Fort Lauderdale again. You know, and other schools where in the quad scrimmage where it's all about just being the best you can be. We scrimmage Track Village and it's 7 handful of times, and they're going to go compete for the WAC this year. Like, so we're trying to play the best team for this pure purpose of can we get better for these things? We will be tough and work really hard. We will be great people, you know, in those environments. And when you can kind of get used to that, you just get used to that edge. You play away all the time, and then you know, win or loss, you go through the year and you just get better, you get better, you get better. Once playoffs start, you're in a great spot to go to compete for a deep run.
Well, as far as the TRC, our league, of course, it's always tough, but I think what's going to benefit us is we have most of our kids back.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other schools, you know, they're still going to be, Milton's going to be good, Lehman, you know, they're all going to be good. I think that we're going to be a lot more competitive. Well, we were competitive with them last year, but I think we're going to be more competitive this year.
Yeah, we had last year, look at the last season, we had 3 or 4 games that we lost in the TRC that we were right in those games.
Exactly.
We were step 2 behind to where all the work that these kids have put in, you know, the evaluation we've done as coaches, trying to get a little better there. Hopefully that all comes the right way and takes us the next step forward there.
Okay, so here we are. We're excited about the 2025 season. Oh, can you talk about the midnight hit?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we need to let people know about the midnight hit because the stadium's being renovated. So if you want to talk about the midnight hit.
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah, so I'm sure most people know our stadium is going through a renovation. We're really excited for that too. You know, it's going to be a whole new ticket booth, press box, a lot of new updates to the whole stadium as a whole, and a whole new track coming in there too as well. So the only downside is that we can't do midnight hit on the field anymore, which we're totally fine with because it's a great, great thing we're getting out of that. So instead, we're going to be doing midnight hit on one of the practice fields. So it's the one kind of by the big water tower behind the school, behind the weight room. We got some portable lights we're bringing out. We're going to light the practice field up. We're inviting everybody out from the community to come watch the boys. We did something last year that we really enjoyed, and we're going to keep doing it. It's we do a thing called straw sessions. There's the team meetings focused on culture, focused on helping our boys become better men in the long run. It's about a 30-minute meeting. We do some exercises with the kids in there. We invited the community to that last year, and that was a really cool experience. And so we're going to do that same thing again. We're going to invite the community in to our team skull session. That will start at 10 o'clock at the school there, and then we'll go on the practice field at 10:30, and we'll start midnight hit. It'll go till about 12:30ish, time there, about 12:30ish. We'll wrap it up there. So it's been a tradition for Covington for 20 years almost now, as it feels like. So we love doing the kids. It's one of the kids' highlights of the football year. Is to go up there under the lights with the community and having the first hit, be like that. So we appreciate you guys can make it out. It's a cool event. It's not just a little late, but it's well worth it. So again, 10 o'clock is that community skull session. You're invited in to sit in with the team and hear what we're saying, hear some of our culture stuff, how we kind of teach it to the kids, our core values and our mission we preach every day. See all that kind of stuff, and then walk out to the field with us at 10:30 and go ahead. So that's coming up here soon. That is this Thursday. That would be Thursday night rolling into Friday morning.
Well, the midnight hit's the start of a great season. Of course, it's not the official game, but it's starting everything, and where crowds can come in and start seeing everything. And 25 football season is going to be an exciting year.
I agree.
You can tell these kids have put in so much time, and I think people are going to start seeing the difference on the field. They played hard last year, but they were young.
Yeah.
Now we're still young, but we're a year more experienced.
Yeah.
And I think the Bucs are in for a great season. So for Ben Robinson and Coach Austin Morgan for 25 season, good night and
go Bucs.
Go Bucs.